Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back on PTCGO taking a look at another deck for the post-rotation format. And this one actually kind of happened, a little bit on accident. Originally, this was meant to be a Rhyperior V video with Welder and stuff. And I had one Torkoal V originally in the list. And as I got more and more games and with it, I started to realize Rhyperior is just pretty much awful, and we should basically, if we're going to go down this route, just build around Torkoal. And I think Torkoal actually, it's a bit of an underrated card, but I think gets a good bit better after Darkness Ablaze going into the new post-rotation format. So, of course, guys, before we get too deep into this deck list, smack that like button, help us beat the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys need any cards to complete this deck or any others, you guys can pick up some codes from PTCGOstore.com. Use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout, save yourself some money. And also, of course, our patrons at patreon.com/RareCandyTCG actually have their own exclusive discount code of their own that gets them an even bigger discount. So if you are in the market for some PTCGO codes, check out our friends over at PTCGOstore.com. So getting back to the actual deck at hand, like I said, started out as a Rhyperior deck going down the sort of Welder energy denial strategy, but kind of shifted gears towards Torkoal. And I've really been liking this significantly better. So just a little bit, just to brush up on Torkoal V here. If you guys aren't too familiar with it, it came out back in Sword and Shield base set, but it has this Combustion Pillar attack for 2 fire, and a colorless does 90 plus 90 more if you discard the top card of your deck, and it's a fire energy. So that's nice and dandy. We can clean up some knockouts on like Crobats, Dedenes, etc. But Steam Crush is actually the attack we're a little bit more excited about here. So for 3 fire and a colorless does 120, which that's really steep if you're a fire attacker. Like there's so many other fire Pokemon that can abuse Welder, that can hit for way more than this, but the big selling point to this attack, of course, is the fact that we discard 2 energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. That's kind of the strategy we're going to be going with Torkoal, energy denial, just kind of making it a little bit hard for our opponent to play the game. So Torkoal V, this is kind of our primary attacker, but we do still have one copy of Heatran GX just as another heavy hitter in the deck. Of course, for that Hot Burn GX attack, 50 for each fire energy attached to it, and that Burning Road ability will allow us to move any fire energy from our Pokemon to Heatran when it becomes our active Pokemon from the bench. But that being said, we also have not 3, but 4 copies of Volcanion. I think Volcanion is really important just because our Torkoal has such a heavy attack cost. We really want to get off Flare Starter on turn 1. So of course, if we choose to go second and on our first turn, we can use this, get 3 fire energies attached into our Pokemon any way that we like. High Heat Blast, also not an awful attack either, especially since things like the Decidueye are running around. Volcanion can be a nice little single prize Pokemon, but Flare Starter is really the main reason we're playing this. We of course have one copy of a Ranger in the deck as well for Primate Wisdom, because we do need to be able to put a fire energy on top of our deck to abuse Combustion Pillar if we want to. And also it's just a nice consistency booster sometimes, and preserving key resources that we don't want to discard sometimes. So getting into our trainer cards, of course, we have the 4 Crushing Hammers just to double down on our energy strategy. We have the 2 Giant Hearts, but we also do have one copy of Wondrous Labyrinth Prism Star. So the attacks of non-fairy Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's cost 1 more. So you do have to be a little bit careful when you play this down, because of course it does negatively impact you as well. But of course, if you can throw down Wondrous Labyrinth and strip 2 energy from their active, it's going to be really difficult for them to mount a counterattack unless they're like a single attachment deck or something like this. So Wondrous Labyrinth, I will say, is one of the cards I am maybe going to cut at some point if I keep iterating on this, but it definitely has a nice synergy and can really catch your opponent off guard sometimes. So we have 4 copies of Turbo Patch as well, again with Torkoal having such a heavy attack cost. Turbo Patch I think is like almost necessary, just because if you go Welder, attachment, you're still an energy short, and Turbo Patch can allow you to get there, which is nice. That means even on turn 1, you can attack with Torkoal's second attack if you choose to with Turbo Patch in the mix. And of course, also is going to make our Heatran hit a little bit harder as well. So we have a copy of Reset Stamp, Supporter Line, pretty straightforward, though we do have one copy of Marnie in the deck in addition to our 2 Research and 4 Welder. But getting into some other more interesting inclusions, we also have 3 copies of Cape of Toughness. So Cape of Toughness, really important because that's going to push our Torkoal up to 260 HP, which is pretty good, but we're still right within that one-shot range of Zacian whenever we're playing against an ADP variant. So we do have 3 copies of Heat Fire Energy as well. So this is one reason I do like this deck, is because we're actually a 2-pricer that's out of range of Zacian and ADP. Now, if they start playing some other damage modifiers, maybe down the road this won't be quite as successful. But the fact that we can actually force them to 2-shot us, I think is really big. And one reason I actually am liking Torkoal. But of course, we don't want to play too many of these. I like the 3 count. I think that's kind of a sweet spot. But we do still need to play some basic fires in the deck as well. So that's going to be the list we're going to try out. But let's head into some games and we'll see how Torkoal is going to look in action, okay? Okay, playing against TFP. Curious what that stands for. But let's see what they are going to be playing. We see the Arceus coin. Doesn't really tell us too much. I think it's like one of the default coins in the game. But it could be ADP. ADP is definitely a popular deck on the ladder usually. Okay, our opponent is going to go first. That's great. So I'm not looking forward to Dede changing this hand away. So there is the Stellar Wish. We do see the Zacian on the bench, so I'm assuming this is going to be an ADP match. There is a research for their next turn. Air Balloon. Okay, so I'm assuming this is probably post-rotation, since otherwise they'd probably just be playing a skateboard. Alright, so moment of truth. Like, I feel like Dede changing feels so bad here. I mean, we could Crobat theoretically. You know what though? I think I'm actually going to go like the more risky route, and I think we're actually just going to go the riskier route and just get Torkoal into play. Because right now they didn't have a really strong start. No ADP, no attachment. So I'm not really feeling too pressured right this second. So we're going to go for the Giant Hearth. Let's see. We did prize Aid to Dene, but we do have our Crobat. And we have a Welder prize as well, which feels kind of bad, but is what it is. But yeah, we're just going to do this. And we will Quick Ball. I think we'll get rid of a Cape. That feels fine because I think we have one more left in deck, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we do. So even if they play like a Tool Scrap or something, we will have another Cape at some point here. And it is possible that our opponent just Marnies this next turn because their hand is huge. They might not want to research all of that away. So we'll get down the Cape here. And we're just going to go for a Flare starter. Alright. So we can kind of live off this hand for a couple turns. You know, if we do find Boss's Orders, we can definitely bring up this guy, just one-shot him with Steam Crush. Okay, and there's the ADP. So it definitely is possible for ADP to get Altered Creation off on this turn. They play enough. Oh, but they're going for the research. Yeah, they had to discard a lot. Honestly, nothing really too important they had to discard, so not as bad of a research as I thought. Here, no doubt they're going to be looking for a switch and an energy switch. They did get rid of, what, another water energy. That's good for us. So ideally, I would like to have a turn where we don't get knocked out here. But okay, great. They're just going to go for the Intrepid Sword. That's perfect. If we get Boss's Orders, that would be fantastic. Ooh, okay, we do get a Quick Ball. That's good. So we can... Like, do we dig to try to hit the boss? That's the next question. Or are we content just... I think we do this because we can actually still boss and knock out the Zacian either way. So I think that's actually probably what we're going to do here. So we'll go for Dedenne. So if we get Boss's Orders and Crushing Hammerheads, oh my god, that would be absolutely huge. So we'll just do this. Get rid of the switch, not a big deal. Okay, that's fine. I feel like we have to Welder, because we definitely want to keep drawing cards here. So yeah, we'll do this. And actually, like, taking knockouts with Volcanion is actually pretty good in this matchup too. Okay, all sorts of good stuff. So yeah, we'll just... Yeah, I guess we just Turbo Patch here. It's fine, not a big deal. And we'll save the Heatran and the Switch, especially if they go for Alter Creation. That would be really big, because we can just blow up the ADP potentially. So yeah, we'll just go for the High Heat Blast, call it a day at that. Let's see what we get. Do get a Crushing Hammer, that's good. It would have been nice to have gotten that. They already discard one Water Energy, so if we had hit one, that would have been big, but... Okay, so they are going to go for the Alter Creation. I'm actually totally cool with that, though, guys. Let's see. So we will do this. I mean, we could even just kind of go the slow route and try to discard energy, but I really don't like that too much here. We're going to go for the Crushing Hammer. Man, we're striking out these coin flips. So we need what? Oh, man, we need 7 energy. That feels really bad if that is the case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would take all of our energy. Oh, man, that is rough. We've only played one Turbo Patch, so... Thing is, if they knock out the Heatran, which they probably will in this next turn, it just feels so bad. It would require getting so much energy in play to be able to like come back from that. Well, I guess we have 8 energy. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking there. That would leave us with 1. I guess that's actually doable. Man, that's greedy, but... Yeah, we're going to go for it, guys. We're going to get a little bit aggressive here. So, yeah, we'll do that. We're going to leave the Heat Fire. The Big Charm is really messing us up here. So we'll just do this. And we'll research. Okay, so we will... What do we get rid of here at this point? I kind of want to keep everything we have in our hand. I just don't want them to bump our stadium, but at the same time, we might get energy off the prizes. Nah, we're just going to chill with this for the moment. So yeah, we'll just go for the Hot Burn GX. So now all we have to do is get one more knockout, and we should be able to knock out the Zacian. We're not going to see Metal Frying Pan come down. More than likely not going to see Weakness Guard energy. I mean, it's a possibility, but I feel like we have a good shot at pulling the knockout off this turn if we do decide to. They definitely need to Marnius, though. Otherwise, we basically have this game. Like, it's crazy how quick this game might end. Like, we're basically doing damage, what, 3 times to knock out the Jirachi. We're just one-shotting everything. And there's a research, so that's great. That's not a Morning. It's what we want to avoid. Now, we could still reset Stampas, potentially. Yeah, so that's definitely an option. Okay, so here's the Brave Blaze. So I feel pretty good about this. We have the Giant Hearth, we have the Turbo Patches, the Welder. So yeah, this should be like pretty much game over at this point. Like we haven't even like barely needed our energy denial strategy here. We basically just need to blow stuff up, and it's worked pretty good. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. Turbo Patch. Hey, we're doing pretty good on our coin flips this turn, that's for sure. Turbo Patch again. And we will just Giant Hearth here. We'll get rid of the Eldegoss, that's fine. Yeah, we have energy left in deck, so that is going to be a game. So we'll hit them with the Well Played here. Yeah, and there's the victory screen. So pretty quick game. We didn't even really need our energy denial strategy, like I said, but it's still reassuring that if you're worried about ADP, which does still look to be a really good deck in the new format, Torkoal ain't so bad. Okay, so looks like our opponent has a fire deck box. Could be an opposing fire deck. We'll have to see. They do lose the coin flip. Let's see what our opponent's going to do. They are going to choose to go first, so I'm assuming it's not a Welder-based deck if that's the case. Oh yeah, this is a pretty solid hand. We have Welder, though it'd be nice if we had a second one, that's for sure. But we have the Crobat and the Torkoal. Oh, this is Inteleon. That feels bad. I think we're losing this one if I had to guess. Like, Inteleon feels so bad for us. I think Heatran's definitely going to be an MVP at some point here. There is Mew. Not too worried about that, I suppose. Inteleon is just so annoying because if they go like Hammer, Yell Grunt, and Hydro Snipe, I think is the first attack, they could easily just kind of wreck us and remove like a ton of our energy. So what do we do? This. I think we actually do this. That way Inteleon VMAX can't knock out our bulk. Do this. Crobat, because I do want to actually attach multiple energies with Welder. Man, that's rough. But we can do this. Please, energy. Nope, unfortunately. So yeah, we're just gonna go for the Welder for 1, which feels kind of bad against a deck that is all about energy disruption. But at least we have the Turn 1 Flare starter, so that is definitely reassuring for us. So we'll just do that. And yeah, I think Heatran's going to be kind of our MVP. We're probably going to need that to just blow away like an Inteleon at some point, just because they only need to attack for 1 energy at a time, so us removing their energy isn't as impactful as in other matchups. So there's a Crushing Hammer, and so it begins. Which feels bad, but we do have the Turbo Patch. That's nice. We can get some of our energies back. We probably have a little bit more energy recovery than maybe a lot of the decks they're playing against. This is definitely going to be a tough one, guys. We definitely need to hit some heads on our own Crushing Hammers here as well. Okay, so that's pretty good. Turbo Patch feels awful. So we'll just Private Wisdom. I think we put back a Welder here. Turbo Patch, okay, that's cool. Man, we are striking out. So yeah, we just have to probably Dead change this turn. I would like to knock out this Mew if possible. Okay, so we do have a Welder. Now if we had a switch, that would also be good. First, let's Turbo Patch before we decide on anything else. Okay, so I like that. This makes me actually feel kind of comfortable attaching these energies to Torkoal here. Okay, we got some Crushing Hammers. That's what I like to see. Oh man, we cannot catch a break on these. Okay, thank God. So we can avoid the max bullet KO on our Torkoal next turn. So from there, I think I'm cool with this hand. We're just going to go for the High Heat Blast. That way we can knock out this Mew, get a prize in the process. And we get a Dedenne, so. There's Crushing Hammer. Oh, thank God. Boss's Order is going to bring up Crobat and go for Giant Bomb. Interesting. All right, so I think we just Primate Wisdom. We'll put back the Dedenne, I suppose. Ooh, we could even Wonder Lab. I kind of like that. Okay. So yeah, I kind of like this spot. We're going all in with the Torkoal here. We got the Wonder Lab down. Go for the Steam Crush. So we're going to get rid of their energy. They're going to get a Counter Stadium and an energy if they do want to attack us. So can we successfully take down the Inteleon deck? And we get the victory screen. So water can't even stop old Torkoal V here. Hey, we'll take it. That's what's up. Okay, so we do win the flip. Definitely would like to go second. Of course, you guys know we want that turn 1 flare starter. And other than having to toss away a couple turbo patches, this is actually a pretty decent opening hand. Now we do see the fighting deck box, so I'm curious what this is going to be. I would say Phalanx, but if they're playing Jirachi, it can't be Phalanx. Galarian Sirfetch'd, okay. I feel like this is probably a good matchup for us because they need 2 attachments. Because Galarian Sirfetch'd, it's fighting Twin Energy for 180. There's a Marnie for the following turn. I'm cool with that. Hopefully they get down energy because I would like to burn this Crushing Hammer first before we get rid of this hand. Okay, so that's definitely good. Alright, so Crushing Hammer here. Broken, absolutely broken. So yeah, we'll just unfortunately toss away Turbo Patch. Feels kind of bad. No, guys, we're just gonna assume that the coin flips would have been tails. So yeah, that's our rationale for getting rid of them. And I think we're actually just gonna research away this Volk as well. Okay, so this is actually a really good hand for the next couple turns. So we'll do this. Sure, we'll get down the Cape as well. And from there, we're just going to go for the Flare starter. We have the Welder for next turn as well. So what I think I'm going to do is attach here. And actually attach here. That way we can Welder 2 to this and be more energy efficient. Because I don't want to Welder like 1 here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put all of our energy here, Welder once, and that be, you know, just kind of that energies in awkward places. Or I guess alternatively, we could have benched the other Volk and attached the additional fire there. But I like this because we can retreat. Oh, here's the Marnie. So that's definitely unfortunate. We have a fire hand for the next turn. No pun intended. Okay, this is also serviceable, I suppose. So we could even get down the Wonder Lab, attach Heat Fire, knock out Jirachi, but I'm assuming they play Martial Arts Dojo. I mean, it's too good not to because the math works out so good for Sirfetch'd against Zacian. So there's the Sirfetch'd. Yeah, 180 they can't attack. Or can't attack until it leaves the active spot. Okay. So just kind of debating if we do actually want to get down the Wonder Lab here. So there is the research from our opponent for next turn. So if we attach here, that's 140. We'll actually be out of range of a knockout if we get another Cape. So yeah, we'll do that. Get down the Wonder Lab. And we'll go for the Dedenne. I am kind of anticipating them to bump this, but if they don't, that's going to be really big for us. So I'll just get down that. Oh, let's see what we have here. Well, Prime Wisdom, I want to put Eldegoss back in deck. Crushing Hammer, that's also good. If we hit heads, I feel like it's like almost hard to lose at that point. So we'll get rid of the Volk. Go for Crobat, especially if we can hit a Hammer and get rid of that Twin Energy. That's just going to be so huge for us. Because it'll be 2 KOs basically before they can... Well, we didn't quite get there, but we can, at the very least, Welder to our Torkoal. Hey, we did find a Crushing Hammer. Can we get heads? We do not. Okay. But either way, I still think we're in an okay spot here, so we can just go for the High Heat Blast. Knock out poor little Jirachi. We have Cape of Toughness. That would have been great to get down on Volcanion, but is what it is. Guys, like I said, I'm kind of anticipating the Martial Arts Dojo, but also Karate Belt and a manual attachment would get them there as well, right? So there's definitely some ways they can overcome the Wonder Lab, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, they have the counter stadium. But kind of surprised it's Viridian. Like I said, I would have expected Martial Arts Dojo, but it looks like they're playing more than just Sirfetch'd, it appears. Seeing Regirock, it's definitely a card we don't see too much of either. And like, even though Torkoal can't even knock out a Sirfetch'd, it's kind of fine just removing their energies over and over. They're tossing away a fighting energy. I mean, that's fine by me. I don't know if they have any ways of getting energy back, but... There's an air balloon. But I mean, yeah, we can either remove their energies or just straight up just knock them out. I mean, I'm fine with either sort of scenario here. One thing is nice too, these capes are going to keep us out of range of a one-shot against Sirfetch'd if they do find Martial Arts Dojo, because they'll be hitting for 220, and this pushes us all the way up to 260. So they are going to be able to knock us out, which you know, is what it is, but with them needing multiple attachments for every attacker, I can't help but think we're going to win. I think that's really where the Torkoal deck does best against the decks that not only are reliant on just manual attachments, but specifically like the double attachment decks like Dragapult, Eternatus, etc. Those are going to be really the big ones that we want to see here. Okay, but they are playing Turbo Patch, so that is a way they can cheat some energies back into play. So we do have to watch out for that. So yeah, I'm cool with just knocking out the Sirfetch'd here. I mean, I kind of like everything we have going on in our hand right now. We can get down the cape here. So we'll do that. You know, I think I'm cool just doing... Nah, I kind of want to save everything in our hand, because if they do kind of hang back with this, I want to have the hammer ready to go on this next turn. So I'll just Primate Wisdom. We will... Actually, no, we do need to Giant Heart this turn, I think, no matter what. So I think we're going to toss away the Reset Stamp. I'm not worried about that right now. Let's see what else we have in deck. We have both Bossasaurs still unused. We have another Heat Fire that's good. So... Actually, we need to Primate Wisdom and put the Fire Energy on top of the deck. I wanted to put Marnie on top of our deck to protect it, but drawing Bossasaurs is actually really nice too. Yeah, I'm gonna save that for next turn. I want to take care of the threat here, and then next turn go for the Crobat. There is another Heat Fire. That's definitely good. Definitely would not mind that down, because right now I'm still kind of scared of a Tool Scrapper. That's one thing that we will have to watch out for. Spark Chrono goes like Turbo Patch, Twin Energy, or even like Twin Energy. Ooh, there's a Marnie. That's a good Marnie from our opponent. But if they go like Twin Energy, Karate Belt, Tool Scrapper, we're kind of in bad shape. There's the Turbo Patch. Okay. There's the Sirfetch'd. There's the Twin Energy. Okay, so we're just going to do the 180. I was going to be very impressed if they had the whole Wombo combo. Okay, so we will... I mean, I think we're honestly cool just knocking this thing out. They really don't have anything else going on here. So we're just going to go for the Giant Heart, discard the Volcanium. Don't really need that anymore. And I'm actually just going to save this entire hand, I think. So we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we have 1 energy left in deck, so I guess we could do this. But in case of a reset stamp, I want to, like, if they go reset stamp Bumper Stadium, I want to be able to find energy to knock out this Crobat with the first attack here. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it too much, I'm not sure. Yeah, so right now I think we're probably safe in terms of being knocked out, but just to be safe, I'm going to hang on to this energy. That way we can be guaranteed the knockout. So the next question is, are they playing anything else spicy in their deck that we don't know about? There is another Marty from our opponent. Okay, so let's see what they got. Oh, we got our Fire Crystal. That's definitely good. So we're definitely going to be guaranteed the KO here at this point. But I'm actually cool with this too, because if this is their really like main attacker here, I'd rather knock this out than these. And then for our final 2 prizes, we just knock out one of their Crobats or something like that. So I imagine they want to find a way to switch in Jirachi, sacrifice this, while keeping an attachment on Farfetch'd. That seems good. Now, we have not seen an energy yet, but they've gone through a good bit. Let's see. 3 Twin Energies, 2 Fighting, so they no doubt have a good bit of fighting energy left. There's the Viridian. There's a Communication as well, putting Sirfetch'd back in deck. Let's see if they're going to grab maybe a second Farfetch'd, maybe? So one thing we have not seen is any damage modifiers from them. So I kind of almost want to go for Heatran. Let me see what Regirock does here. Okay, Raging Hammer is actually kind of annoying for us because we're not going to one-shot most of the time. They're going to get rid of another Sirfetch'd. They only have 1 left in deck, if that's the case. Very interesting. Okay, yeah, we're just going to knock out Jirachi if that's the case. So we'll definitely Crushing Hammer. Ooh, that feels bad. So I still think we just knock this thing out, and from there, Gust next turn. I think that's the plan. So we need to kind of save our energy here. Since we have Eldegoss, we could even knock out the Jirachi now. But this is fine. We'll save it just in case of a reset stamp or something like that. And then they'll knock us out, but it's fine because we can just attach here and that be... Oh, actually, you know what? How much energy do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we need to make sure we do have energy left in deck to be able to pull off this last play to win. So we just have to hope they also don't Marnie us. Oh, and there's the reset stamp. That feels really bad. So if they go like reset stamp knockout, we're in a bad spot. But here we just get the victory screen, but yeah, we were pretty far ahead in that one, guys. So even if they did get the knockout, felt pretty decent about our odds in that one. Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap up our look here at the Torkoal V deck. I do have to say, I actually have been pretty surprised by how decent this deck has been doing out of all the testing I've been doing with this. I think Torkoal is actually in a much better spot than it was previously. I mean, with Inteleon getting more popular, we'll have to see what happens with that. But Torkoal, I think, is in a much better spot now that we have Cape of Toughness and the Heat Fire Energy. And with other cards like Inteleon getting a little bit better after rotation, maybe Torkoal's another one of those cards we're going to have to keep our eye on. But here's the list, guys. I think it's a pretty decent starting point if you guys want to start messing with this archetype. And also, too, just a quick plug to our Stage 2 patrons actually had access to this list like a week before this video even came out. So if you guys do want some early access to some deck lists when we post them, I'll be sure to have a link down below in the description if you guys want to check out our Patreon and see what we have going on over there. But of course, guys, feel free to like and subscribe and consider supporting this channel, like I mentioned, by becoming a patron or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.